Hey guys, welcome back to the Xring. So before we start this video and do rifle slugs, one of the things I want to address is a lot of guys wonder what size targets we're shooting at here. Guys, this target right here is 8 inches across and it's 12 inches on the height here, not including the head. So you guys should get an idea of the size of the targets we're shooting at from way back there, because we're going to shoot these at 50 and 80 and 100 yards. This is the same size. This one right here is an 11 by 11 square. Okay, that's exactly 11 by 11. And that little round back there is only like 6.5 inches or so. It's not a uniform size, but just so you guys see what we're going to be shooting at. Now, typically in 3-gun, what you're going to be doing is shooting larger steels, but at Pro-Am this year, a lot of the targets were this size. These targets right here are available from Best Targets. It's a great system, very easy to set up. I was actually going to do a video on one, but since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Basically, AR500 steel plate. You can order circles, squares, everything else. You take a T-post, you get it at any hardware store, and they use AR500 that has been cut and then bolted together. This goes on top. You hold this at 90, and this comes down. This is great for precision rifle. I've never seen one come off. So we're going to shoot these with slugs. Never practice on slug targets on steel unless you're beyond about 50 yards, okay? That's a lot of lead coming back. Let's shoot these shotguns. All right, guys, so in order to be really competitive in 3-gun, what you're going to see, and I've been seeing a lot more and more of it lately, is you have to be able to make those slug target hits with your shotgun, okay? They're incorporating more and more. If you guys watch the Pro-Am video, that's the most shotgun slug intensive stages I've ever seen in my life. I mean, most of your targets were anywhere from 50 yards out to about 130 yards, and they were using about the same size steels. They didn't have the big, large steel, you know, that's 30 by 30. They weren't like big sheets of plywood out there. So you need to be able to hit those and move on with the other targets quickly. Those are usually really high point penalties if you miss those. So I've reviewed this shotgun before, but today I'll be shooting my Benelli M2. What I've done is I've had a dovetail sight cut into it. Now this is a 1022 sight. I can flip it up like this for my slugs, or I can leave it up and shoot it that way, or I can flip it down. I have broken one of these before in a barrel. Sometimes I think it might be better to have it reversed, so that way when you throw it in, it can actually flip closed. Because right now, if I throw it in a barrel and I catch that, there's a chance of breaking this, but I do keep a spare with me. As far as slugs themselves, you need to find a slug and stick with it, okay? So, like the Remington sluggers, these are really cheap. It's a 1 ounce lead slug, 2 3/4 inch velocity, 1560. It's a great slug, but I don't need that much recoil. I don't need that much follow-up time on target. Another one that was really popular back in the day were these extreme slugs. This is 1540. I only shoot the federal law enforcement low recoil rifled slug HP. Now, they call it law enforcement, but anyone can buy it. You just got to go online to buy it. These are typically going to be blue, like this, and it's a low recoil slug, muzzle velocity 1,300 feet per second. Because I'm not really worried about the drops that much, yeah, at 100 yards it's going to drop a little, but you got to remember you're shooting out of a long shotgun, so I can give that up for my follow-up shot. So what I want to do is I'm going to have Rick and myself here at 50 yards on these small targets. We're going to come up on target, fire 2 hits, or you have to get 2 hits, and we want to see how much time it takes Rick with his Stoger. Now, Rick, with Is Your 6 Covered, is here with me today. Do you have a rear sight on your shotgun?
No.
No, but he is a very proficient shotgun shooter. His background, he did a lot of trap and skeet back in the day. I mean, sporting clays, and competed quite a bit with that. So, I mean, he's a proficient shotgunner, but let's see what the difference makes.
No pressure.
Between himself and myself with my 3-gun setup and his 3-gun setup where he's just running a bead. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys, so typically what I try to do is if I have slug arrays, and let's say I have clays down here close, I want to get those slugs out of there. If you shoot a slug on a non-slug target, it is a DQ, usually a match DQ, because those other steels are made for birdshot. They're going to be closer, and that's a very dangerous situation. You can basically get hurt really badly at Memorial 3-gun. I hate to call them out, but there was somebody that actually took a slug and hit it on it was a close steel, and it came back, hit the RO, actually went into their leg, and it wasn't just a little bit of shrapnel. It was enough to take the fabric with it and blow that out. So it's a very dangerous situation. I do not have a shot timer today, but I've got 3 rounds in here. Typically, if I've got 2 slug targets, I'm gonna have 1 up for every 2. So I have 4 targets, I'm probably gonna have 6 slugs in there. That way I've got some extras. If you don't need it, you just burn it into the dirt in the direction of the target. That's why sometimes you'll see us blow an extra round. We're getting that slug out of there. That way I don't inadvertently send a slug into a close target. So enough talking. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna go low ready. Low ready position means that it can be shouldered, and usually they'll have a pointing stick down here. Port arms, the stock has to touch the belt, and the muzzle needs to be above the head. So you know what, we'll just go port arms. That way you guys can see everything. I have 2 targets. I have my iron sights up. Changing the chokes can change it a little bit. For this shotgun, for that low recoil, those blue Federals, I really don't get much of an impact change. So we'll try myself first, and then we'll let Rick do it. We're here at 50 yards, port arms. Rick, you say go.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Go.
I take my time. And then I would have burned that 3rd one. I pulled the 2nd shot just a little left, but enough to hit him. You need to be able to get those 2 slug hits and just move right on. Let's see how Rick does with this.
No pressure.
All right, you guys, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Fu Master Chew for wanting to do a shotgun video. So let's get going. All right, port arms, you said?
Port arms. Shooter ready.
Oh, stand by. Okay.
Stand by. Go. All right, guys, so at 50 yards, you should be able to do that pretty instinctively. This should be a gimme shot almost, okay? It's when you get further than this. So if you're having problems at 50 yards, clear, you probably want to spend some more time with that slug in the shotgun. Now remember, he doesn't have a rear sight. He just had a bead up front, but he knows where it is. You should always print it on paper so that you're not burning extra rounds down there. Let's move it on back to about 80 to 90 yards.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, so we're at 85 yards now, and this is where you start to see that separation of guys that really practice with their shotguns and ones that don't. These are tough shots, and you're usually going to have to shoot these offhand. So we're going to do the same thing, port arms. I've got 3 rounds. Take the extra bit of time to make sure you're on target when you attempt these, because for every shot, extra shot you take, you're just burning into those time at 3 gun. So burning into that time. So Rick, just tell me whenever we're ready.
Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Go. Hit. Hit. Nice shot.
So at 85 yards, I know I'm pretty good. I have to take a little extra time between my splits, but I want to make sure I get those hits. And remember, these are small plates, but that's what we saw at Pro-Am. Let's see how Rick does with that bead only. I don't think he's going to do that well.
Yeah, remember, race cheating. You got a rear sight. Ain't nobody got time for a rear sight. Come on now.
The bead covers the entire target.
All right, Rick, are you ready?
We're going to find out right now. Yeah, why not?
All right.
I'm good at making a fool of myself.
Stand by. Go. Okay, that's 2 shots. 3. He actually hit this post at the bottom. So guys, this is where you're really going to see yourself pull away from a group.
I'm getting more ammo.
He's going to get more shotgun slugs, but getting that 80 to 100 yard distance where it's just come up and you know you're shooting it just like a rifle makes all the difference in the world. So if you're wanting to be a competitive 3-gunner, make sure you're good with that shotgun and slugs, not just the bird shot. Let's let Rick try this some more.
All right. I was just messing with you. I wanted you to feel good. All right, here we go. Shooter ready. Stand by.
Go.
Beep.
1 hit. 2 hits. Yeah, well, he did it up on the follow-up, but look at the total. It took him 5 rounds to do it, and he would have had to have reloaded because you probably would have only had 3 for 2 targets, maybe 4.
Well, yeah, it depends how far it was. This is a pretty long shot, so I probably would have threw a couple extra in there.
Yeah, so maybe, maybe not. I've never seen anybody with 2 targets have 5 slugs in there. It's usually 2 targets, 4 slugs. But he would have had to take the time to reload and maybe get that bird shot out of there that was next in line or burn it out.
That would have been the hard part, is if I had to add more, I would have to go down, shoot a bird after I threw some in to get back in action. So,
yeah, so big thanks to Fu Master Chew for this
Master
great
Chew.
idea. And like I said, we had fun doing it. Stay tuned for the next one.
All right, you guys take care. Like, share, and
Subscribe.
hey, check this shirt out, guys. You
My
probably
buddy
didn't even
made
notice.
this for me.
Look at this. Oh, yeah.
I got to come up with something.
He needs something. All right, see you guys.
Thanks.